Hey everybody, my name is Decibel, and I like to make manga, and this is my, autistic ramblings. This is where I just talk about, like, a bunch of, like, manga ideas that I have, pretty much. Oh, well, I guess currently I'm working on a manga right now called Gekogokiginkai. I know it's a kind of strange name, but it's pretty much about, like, two friends helping their ghost friend move on, pretty much. Also, by the way, sorry for the jumps in audio quality. I have to like hold my headphone mic, and I haven't found the perfect distance yet, so expect jumps in audio quality. But anyways, back to Gekogokiginkai. It's like I said before, it's pretty much about like two friends helping their ghost friend move on, and to be honest, I guess I kind of want it to be like a sort of like mix of kind of like a little bit like kind of like dark story with like some like goofy characters and or like goofy moments that like happen in between. And I also do want it to like tackle some like pretty dark like subject matter, I guess. It's not like anything like really bad like rape or like sexual assault, but like I don't want to spoil it pretty much. But I do feel like once they like find out about how their ghost friend died, I feel like it could lead to like a pretty like emotional kind of like bittersweet ending. But also their ghost friend's death also sets up like an early mystery, which could like get the readers' attention a lot easier. Pretty much the best way I can describe Gekogokiginkai is that it's like more of like kind of like a test run, pretty much. It's kind of like a first child situation where like I'm using this to like learn the basics, so that like the other manga that I make in the future are of better quality. Not to say that I like don't like Gekogokiginkai or that I like don't care for it. It's not exactly like the kind of story that I like want to tell, but I'll still cherish it because I made it, and I also like really like the characters too, or at least that I made, and like some of their designs too. But Gekogoki Ginkai is like more like to learn like paneling and dialogue, and also like cinematography and how to like different ways to like tell my story, or at least the story that I have. And they also want like a Gekogokiginkai to also be like pretty short too. So like I don't like strain myself making my first ever manga. And it's also a lot easier to write for a story that's like a lot shorter and like meant to end, or at least has like a definitive end that I thought of. And also I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but you can read my manga on I think Manga Plus Creators and Global Comics is where, yeah, those are the two places where you can read it and read the other manga that I'm gonna make in the future. They should be linked in the description of my channel or in the description on this video. But anyways, Gekogoki Ginkai is about like ghosts and like the occult. I have no idea if I even mentioned this when I was at first talking about it. Some strange things happen in the story, and the actual story itself is pretty short. I plan on making it about like maybe like 15 chapters, maybe 20 at most, and it's also like really dialogue heavy. So if you guys are into that, then I guess go check it out. I know I'm being like a little bit vague about like describing like Gekogoki Ginkai, but I want you guys to read it, please. It's a fun story. I think you guys will like it. I think. But also, while I was like creating Gekogoki Ginkai, I was also like thinking of like other like manga ideas, which is like the whole purpose of this video. But anyways, one of them that I was thinking about was like some kind of like action manga, kind of in like a post-apocalyptic world, and like someone dressed up in like a chicken mask and like boot blades like fight people in like some kind of like gladiator arena to like buy back the like freedom or something. I'm still coming up with like the general story beats, but I think it'll be a fun and like wacky, zany story. I mean, I guess like some of the inspirations for like my little chicken fighter manga would be like mangas like a Dorihedoro and a Chainsaw Man, you know? Like the sort of like really shitty, like wacky world that they kind of live in. And of course, some are equally like wacky and shitty, like characters, you know? And also like another like kind of manga idea that I was also thinking about was like, it's called Scourge. It's a like temporary name because I haven't came up with a name yet, but it's like pretty much like about this like world full of like it's pretty much where like people like if they like experience like a sudden surge of like a lot of negative emotions, they'll like turn into a monster, and like those monsters need to be killed, but those people who turned into the monsters can like kind of go back sort of and like turn back into a human pretty much. And those people that are like turned back in on those people that went from monster back to human also get like superhuman like a regenerative ability. So it's pretty much like a world full of like Deadpools and like Wolverines wandering around pretty much. I mean, also the reason why it's called Scourge in the first place is because is because like the people monsters are called Scourge by like the other people that aren't monsters, by the way. I mean, I'm also like those people that went from monster back to human can also like temporarily like turn back into the like monster form. So pretty much think of kind of like the apostles from like Berserk, or like the Tensen from Hell's Paradise. Another story I was also thinking of was I guess the best way I can describe it is like an isekai, even though I don't really like isekai. But anyways, it's a pretty much where like a bunch of people die and they like get sent to purgatory pretty much, and they talk to this lady, and they can go through hell like literally, or they like fight through hell like the 9 layers of hell, and like when they reach the bottom they get like a second chance at living pretty much. And I also imagine that the story will follow this like kind of like this like tall like model lady that like ended up like overdosing pretty much, I guess. I might have like a sort of like rough idea of like what I want. This is probably like the most developed story, like manga idea that I have. So I might do this one next, or maybe the chicken fighter one. I'm not sure. I'll probably go more in depth with my manga ideas in later videos, and I'll like go. I mean, I'll like talk about like characters and like the like general like story beats, and also probably some inspirations for those stories too. So I'll look out for those videos if you're interested, but it might take a while to like actually like make those videos because this is my first time ever making like YouTube videos and such. So yeah, look out for those videos, and have a good day. Goodbye.